Bashers! Happy Valentine's Day to everyone in Basherland, Basherville, Basher World. What are you doing tonight for your special someone? I don't know how long you have been or haven't been in a relationship or are aspiring to be in one, but they're pretty cool. It's nice to be able to depend on somebody for, the finer things and the stupid things and the things that aggravate you, someone to vent to, all that. We've got coming on 35 years, which sounds like old people speak. But we're not so old, which is crazy. But this is our 34th Hallmark Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's today to all of you and your lovers. Andrew Wolkovich, as always, starts out the show with a bang. Canadian $10. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Let's show some love for the iBashers. Please do. Take a moment to upvote and subscribe. Share the show with an enemy. Isn't that great with an enemy? They will soon become a friend. Be kind. I preach it every day. Be kind. I had a nice little email exchange with Jim Lassick earlier. We talked about yesterday and, the polarization and the lack of communication and the separation and all those things that divide us and make us weaker. And, unity is strength. And as we always say, but I really appreciated that email, Jim. I think you're a legend, really and truly. Dean says, G-Shock Wednesday is here. Hey, G-Shock should have a day, right? Considering that every single solitary watch enthusiast, well, pretty much 90%, I don't have one, but pretty much everyone has a G-Shock or multiple G-Shocks because they're affordable in their collection, which is pretty crazy. I think I should maybe jump on the G-Shock trend. I really love that new Longines, man. The one that I got. I don't know the reference number of that yet, but I'll pull it up at some point. But I keep seeing the advertisement constantly, and it's beautiful. It's got that center. I don't even know. It's almost like a Sky Dweller. It's got like a center wheel that. It's really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful watch. And Longines is another one of those companies that's been around forever and ever, and they have their fanboys and fangirls, but they don't have the cachet, and they should, considering where they've been in the horology game. They should probably have more of a footprint or a legacy, because they truly and utterly do, but they just don't have the cachet that Rolex has, Rolex, as they love to say in Germany and Switzerland. Rolex. I guess when Hans Wilsdorf was coming up with the name that he thought everyone could say and it would mean luxury and it meant nothing, he didn't realize that people would say Rolex. Those goddamn R's. That's really funny. James Bastian. Did flowers, breakfast, donuts, and we'll go to dinner with wife of 35 years. Hey, we're in the same boat. Isn't that cool? Isn't it nice to have 35 years? It's nice. I mean, it's a nice little investment feeling. It's just kind of the number is just kind of staggering when you look at the number and go, really? Wow. It's kind of cuckoo. Andrew says that in my case, I just sent a special someone $10. Oh, that's awfully sweet. Thank you. Ray, you Dirk and regulars, the Dirk's Dirty Dozen from The Rock. Thumbs up, lovers for Dirk. Oh, that's awfully kind. Thank you, Ray. Love you right back. The incredible Carolyn Martin, one of the biggest friends and advocates of the watch community. I'm being very dainty today, right? I'm being very dainty with that. Support for my daily feel-good show. Wow, that's awfully nice. It makes me feel good too, and I thank you. Andrew says he does not have a G-Shock. Well, maybe we should talk about getting G-Shocks. I don't know which one. I have to look at them. There's so many. They just look kind of like plastic monsters to me. And I know that they have personalities and everybody loves them and all that stuff. But yeah, Mark Wilde, the incredible, incomparable Mark Wilde. I'm lording it with Casio MTG peasants. It's true. And Andrew points out that Timex is an older company than Rolex. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. For those of you who don't remember John Cameron Mitchell and his amazing commercials that we used to sit through for the Olympics. And like, I don't know how being the Omega fanboy that I am, you think that I would know how long they've been timing the Olympics. I mean, it's been on and off because there was a point in time where I remember all these Olympic commercials with John Cameron Mitchell, and they would be doing the ski slalom and the jumps and all that stuff. And they'd be, trying to smash up Timexes. So yeah, Timex has been I think we've all had a Timex in our lives. We've all had them. They're, they're cool watches. They definitely are cool. I like them a lot. I did want to start the show on a kind of a somber note, and that is for our dear Antoine. You guys might know him from the show, and he has mentioned his beautiful beloved Tara in the chats, who lives in Marseille and has sadly now lived in Marseille. She has passed on to the great beyond, and I just want to send out all of our thoughts to him because she was a very special lady in his life. And he got the news today from his mom, and our hearts go out to you, man, because she's a beautiful kitty. I've mentioned it before. I love this picture. It's just such a sad thing for me to think you're going through that. I know how it is. You know how I am with my Laverne. I'm a total maniac. I went out for like 2.5 hours today trying to find Pretty Litter, because that's this crazy new litter that tells you whether or not their liver is good and their urinary tract is good and all this stuff. I don't know if it's complete bullshit, but I'll tell you this: you're supposed to leave it in there and clean it and swish it around, but the more you do that, it just starts to turn blue, and then after a while it's just ineffective. But it's really low on dust, and that's the reason why I couldn't find it. So what did I do? I used Instacart. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but Instacart is like this thing something Dana taught me about. It's a just like an app that you can shop and somebody comes and delivers it to you. And lo and behold, an hour and a half later, I had Pretty Litter in my house. So I thank Instacart for that. And again, Antoine, our condolences. We're so very sorry. What a beautiful lady. May she reign. And thanks for letting me know. And I just wanted to share that with the community because I know how everybody will feel. So there we go. So today I was going to have Dana on the show today as a special treat for all of you, because I know how much you adore her, because she's in town and we're hanging out quite a lot. Investment Janitor says John Cameron Swayze. See, I couldn't remember. John Cameron Mitchell. Where did I get that from? John Cameron Mitchell. Where did I get that from? Is that the guy from is that the guy from Hedwig and the Angry Inch? I think it is. The guy who wrote and starred in Hedwig and the Angry Inch, John Cameron Swayze, Investment Janitor. That is $1.99. I stand corrected, my dear friend. Investment Janitor. That's funny, but you're right. So anyway, back to the Dana thing. So I realized that I didn't have 2 sets of headphones in here. I have a set of headphones, and the cable's broken, and I don't know how I did it, but I went to set it all up. I was like, oh shit, I don't have a set of headphones. So I'm preempting that until tomorrow night, unless I did drop her a link if she wants to join in from her hotel to grace us with her presence as a sneak preview to tomorrow, because she will be in the studio tomorrow night, because we were planning to go to her and her beloved Emmett used to live up the street from me, as did Ashini, lived around the block. And that's where we all used to go out to dinners and stuff. And one of our favorite places here, we didn't realize it's Valentine's Day. When we planned, we'll go Wednesday. And of course, it's Valentine's Day, so we couldn't get in there. So we decided to go tomorrow night. So it'll all work out in the end. We're still going to get together later on. But if she wants to grace us with her presence and pop in, I sent her the link. I have had nothing planned other than I saw a bunch of ridiculous articles on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And since you guys are all big music nerds and have opinions galore, before we get into, I don't have that many wrist shots. So Basher Dirk at gmail.com. I have a few Nowhere near as many as I usually do, but that can change during the course of a show. Wearing the Rolex Milgauss, of course. I was actually going around the town with the Speedy on, and then I was like, I should take some shots, in the snow with the Milgauss. So I swapped it out and for Instagram, and what was it? What did I say the other day? New York was going to have this big snowstorm, and it's just going to turn into gray, ugly slush. And what do we have? Gray, ugly slush. So there was no winter wonderland. I was thinking about I'll find a pile of snow and I'll place her gently in there and shoot that, and you'll see all the green crystal, and it'll be so great. And the orange lightning bolt seconds hand. No, it just everything was filthy, dirty, and disgusting and horrible, terrible. So I didn't do that. But that's my story about the Milgauss for the day. But I'll wear it to dinner. That's for sure. Andrew says, my oldest cat is 28. Now, this is something we've talked about. That's friggin' crazy. He sounds like a bowling ball when he runs down the stairs, still going strong. That is, please God, in heaven's name, can I have that? Can I have that? I mean, my dog lived to be 17, and everybody's like, "Oh, she lived such a long life," and it was not long enough for me. You know how that goes. It's just not. It's one of God's unfair decisions is to make us live so long and make them not. It's just not fair because sometimes we get companions that are just we're inseparable from. Investment janitor, another $1.99. G-Shock has released over 3,000 models. Good luck. I know it's a lot. Well, it's Casio and it's Japanese. So what do you expect? They mass produce stuff like Kawasaki, and they put out tons and tons and tons of shit. Listen, I remember when made in Japan was a bad thing. It was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They make the most amazing electronics. As a musician, so much like Japanese stuff, like here's a great example. Fender guitars, Gibson guitars, they're made in the USA. And you know what? A lot of the times they're kind of crappy sometimes. But whenever you get a Japanese iteration of either of those brands, like Gibson used to be in Japan, it was called Orville. Now, because Orville Gibson was the guy that invented Gibson guitars. So anyway, the quality of the instruments were so incredible, but they were so cheap for so long, and now they're very expensive. I had like Mexican Fenders, but I had a Japanese version, and it was really, really, really amazing. I gave it to my nephew, and it was fantastic. Anyway, great stuff. So yeah, the G-Shock has released over 3,000. I'll just find one that looks the least like some kind of insect, I guess. Dean says, Dirk, I've been watching a YouTube channel, I Love Venice, watching the live Carnival, but the guy is Italian, need an interpreter. I think YouTube has a thing. I don't know if it works for every single channel, but you can go to captions and you could choose the language. So I think that works. I think it does. I've tried it on a couple of things for things that are in Latvian or whatever, and it didn't work out. Anyway, yeah. Look who's watching the room. It's it's the big guy, Mr. O'Malley. Why does she need headphones? Because of the bleed. This room. I tried it. I did an A/B with me and Paul, and I turned the volume up a little bit, and it's just too small. This room. There was too much feedback. It was bleeding. It was feeding back. So we're gonna do it tomorrow. It'll be great. Steven Rissa. Hello, Dirk Copel as well. Yeah, things are good. Things are good. We're going to have dinner, a nice bash first. We're going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And if you think it's absolute crap, we'll look at the nominees. You can tell me who you think should get in. You can tell me who you think shouldn't get in, who's missing from the list, who's your favorite artist that never got inducted or even nominated. There's a ton of them. And I was going through it because I watched, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I was watching this article with this guy, and he was pretty good. And then it just got stupid because I could tell he was picking his favorites, and you can't pick your favorites when when it's like a Hall of Fame situation. You have to look at the nominees. You have to look at the artists and look at their track record. Even if you don't fit, if they're not your style, you have to take into account what they've accomplished. Have they influenced people? Are they a pioneer? What have they done over the years that makes them great and influential enough? Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of the people that have been in there so far have been all that influential. But apparently, there are bands out there that have never ever been nominated who have influenced a million people. I can name like Jethro Tull off the top of my head, Iron Maiden off the top of my head. I will get into the whole thing in a minute, but like there's a lot of bands that Bad Company has never been put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pat Benatar finally got in last year. Kate Bush got in, and of course, Americans don't give a shit about her, but I do, and Oisin does. And she deserves to be in there because she's so incredibly, all the Fiona Apples and the Tori Amoses and all of those kind of artists were all heavily influenced by her. So I think that the criteria, they should have a more succinct criteria for who gets in, and it shouldn't just be a popularity contest. That's what you have other things for. Local music awards. That's what the American Music Awards are for like the pop artists. And, like Dua Lipa getting a Grammy. I mean, as much as I like a bunch of her songs, but I mean, Grammy Awards, I don't know. It's just become so shitty. Yeah. Andrew Olkovich, 10 Canadian, get an extra mic for Dana. Also wine. Well, we'll have wine for sure tomorrow night. That's a given, my friend. Yeah, but the thing is, like, I use a condenser microphone, and that's why it sounds so radio. I do have other mics, but I guess it would work in a pinch, but yeah, I wanted it to be pro and sound good, and I want it to look good. I'm going to change everything around just so it looks like we're doing a show together, like we're doing the news. Bert Dundee says, is Bjork in there? No, she's not, and she's incredibly influential, and she's eclectic and strange, and people don't get her, or they do get her. I get her. Do I listen to her for pleasure? Rarely, if ever, but I think she's a freaking genius. And I get why she should be in there. And here's a quick little aside. When I was, I've told you guys before, I was an intern at Atlantic Records when I was like 17, 18. And the Sugar Cubes were signed to, I don't know, was it Atlantic or one of the Warner Electric Atlantic group? But they were all up there a couple of times. And I didn't know who she was, but, she was in my orbit or should I say I was in her orbit. And, they were like, oh, it's a band from Iceland. And I was like, Mah. I was listening to metal. What did I know? I was an idiot. The incomparable Scotty H, $9.99. Hey, let's find you a G-Shock and we can super chat or PayPal the funds to you to pay for it. That's awfully kind of you. I think you need a GW5000U. It's a square. Should I look that up? I will right now. Let me see. It's a... Casio G-Shock. Have to do the humming singing thing, as Oisin always says, because it makes the old man in me who's typing and looking for things look better. The GW5000. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, okay. Let's pull that up now. Yeah, these are cool. Let me blow it up so you guys can really see it. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I like, I think I like, well, actually, you'd have to go the real black one, right? Can I not blow this up? Yeah, I can. Here it goes. Oh, I like that one. I think that's, why did it not go? Oh, because that's what it does. One moment, please. Yeah, because Google Chrome opens up a new window and then just, I don't know why it does that. These are cool. Oh, yeah. Well, this is, kind of like what I thought. Because some of them are so ridiculous. Like the John Mayer one looks like the Abominable Snowman should be wearing that, which is definitely doesn't fit my style. But I actually like this. I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of got a little bit of Cartier meets AP meets, but like nobody can say that bezel is not unlike the 5711, right? I mean, it kind of looks like a Patek because it's not square and it's not a rectangle, right? It's got that. That's the one problem I have with that watch that everybody loves about it. It's like, and the Aquanaut's even worse. I don't know what it is about those watches that I know everybody loves them. And it's like, touche. That's what makes the world go around. Everybody likes something different, but that's pretty cool. I mean, look at that. That one's pretty cool. I don't mind that. It's kind of got like a carbon fibery thing going on in the center. It's got the LCD. It's got the Nautilus kind of bezel, and it kind of has like a Cartier Santosi style. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean, I got to look around at that shit. I don't know. Andrew says, Dirk, ever hear about a Canadian girl, Alana Miles, Black Velvet? Of course, I've seen her live. Trying to remember who I saw her open for, but I did see her, and I think I saw her more than once. Yeah, Black Velvet. And she was beautiful too, with those crazy blue eyes and the black hair. Yeah, she had a number one hit. It was monster, monster, monster smash. But I got one for you, Andrew Wolkowicz. Do you know who Del Bello is? Del Bello is a Canadian singer, songwriter, chanteuse who very much predated Alanis Morissette and had the same exact career trajectory. She was like a character on a TV show, like a children's show, like a Nickelodeon thing. And she made a couple of cute little poppy records as Lisa Del Bello. As a matter of fact, David Foster produced those records, her first two records. So then, she's 18 or whatever. This is very similar to the Alanis Morissette story, which was probably at least 10 years prior, maybe more. And she made this adult record. Mick Ronson from David Bowie's band was the producer on it, and it's called Human Forces. And she's an incredible singer, an amazing songwriter. She's had songs. She works with Richard Marx. She does tons of jingles like Queensryche and Heart, and all these bands have covered her music. Her big hit was, her big hit. I don't know. In Canada, you might know Gonna Get Close to You, which was really big. So yeah, I do know that. Scotty H says, you're going to hate it, but I love it. I don't hate it. There's very few things I hate. What's the point? Hate takes way too much. I hate Kanye West. How about that? There's very few things I really hate. I hate bullshit unless it's for comedy. But no, I think that's the most beautiful thing in the world is variety. It's really, really great. Sam Led Consulting. Hey, we missed you last night. I didn't see you at all in the chat, but hey, he's back. Sam Led Consulting. Upvote, gents. Please upvote. Hey, we hit the big mark the other day, and it's onwards and upwards, man. Here, I mean, what are the increments? 1,000, 2,000. After that, you got 5,000, 10,000. Listen, I'm grateful for all the viewers that come on in and can contribute, because you're all contributors to the iBasher lifestyle, the Bashies. You guys take the conversations to places I would have never thought. See, look at that. I just banged into that with the pop screen. Yes, mission accomplished. I don't have to take out my loop and go like this, which was retarded. Mr. Bad Gas, 28 years. My Valentine is in Europe, so I'm blowing kisses. Rocking my GS Budmaster today. She's a big one. Bang to you. That was a big one. $4.99. Mr. Bad Gas. You're a cool one, Mr. Bad Gas. Oh yeah. So yeah, it looks like it would survive. He's talking about the G-Shocks. Yeah, well, don't those guys, all the military guys, the Navy SEALs, isn't that their watch of preference? All the commandos, those guys all have to wear something like that. Have to wear something that you don't wind or doesn't, they have to have a battery in it. You can't possibly be on the front lines and deal with that shit, Dean says, go for the G-Shock. You can hit it on your mic, stamp on it, hit it with a bong. I don't have a bong. Crazy. It's indestructible. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about that, This is funny. Sam Led Consulting loves David Foster. Now, anybody who knows me really, really well knows that I have a nickname for David Foster, and that is Satan. Listen, he's an incredibly talented guy, accomplished songwriter, fantastic pianist, but he just seems to kind of take bands and make them sucky. He milk toasts the shit out of all the artists. I mean, he should write like what he did to Chicago. Okay, sure, they got rich off of it, but actually, they didn't get as rich as they should have because he wrote the songs. That whole "if you leave me now, you take away." Not that I hate it. It's just that that's 25 or 6 to 4 and Sunday afternoon in the park and all that great stuff that this big brass band, jazzy, amazing. They just became such soft rock and mellow. And listen, I like Air Supply. I love ABBA. I love a lot of that stuff, that great pop from the 70s, that AM radio shit. But when David Foster shows up, it's generally going to have that 80s Tynes keyboard sound, and it's just going to be kind of whatever. Plus, he's an egomaniac. He's obsessed with Grammy Awards. He's obsessed with just achieving awards. If you ever seen an interview with him, he's just so fucking arrogant. It's just, ugh. Anyway, you can love him. I don't. However, I see the talent that he's got. Melly C says, "Good day, Dirk. Happy Valentine's Day." Melly C, happy Valentine's Day too. I hope you're sharing it with a special someone and a beautiful bottle of wine or whatever is your beverage of choice. Bert Dundee says, "Anybody remember Ricky Lee Jones? Who doesn't? Chucky's in Love. Danny's All-Star Gent." I mean, she's one of the greats, and she's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What is the criteria for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What do they want? Or what do they think people want? Because I think it's more about that. Because as we all know, the editor from Rolling Stone, and I think Ahmet Ertegun from Atlantic Records, they were the guys that invented the hall. And it was supposed to be about Chuck Berry and Little Richard and the Beatles and the Beach Boys and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. And like none of these things no one says no to that. Then when all the bands start to get in, they miss a couple along the way. They miss, like the MC5 and the Dave Clark 5 and Bad Company and Jethro Tull, and all these bands get overlooked. And then they start putting in like Eric B and Rakim, and all of a sudden it's hip hop. So is it rock and roll? Can you take a stance and say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does not include R&B or hip hop? Well, there's one way of looking at it. Sure. But the other way of looking at it is that rock and roll was derived from R&B, the blues, and black music. Let's face it, there would be no rock and roll. The British didn't invent rock and roll. It was invented here, and it was invented in Chicago and in the South. And then the British, for some crazy reason, latched onto it and made it cooler. Because let's face it, the British rock bands ruled the world. The Beatles and the Zeppelins and the Who's and the British invasion, all that stuff was just absolutely incredible. And then, what America had in the early 70s, you had Aerosmith and Kiss and, who else was a big American band? Boston is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, maybe their first album was their big one, but their second one was huge too. And those two records are unbelievable, but nobody seems to care. Sam Lair Consulting. Sorry, boys, it's good to be back. Well, it's good to have you back. Where the fuck were you? We were missing you, and we're talking about you last night. Listen to the replay. Andrew says, "Are you just a bit of a klutz?" I am. I'm a bull in a china shop, for sure. I'll tell you a funny story about Emmett O'Malley. Is like right after I got the Sheen gave me the Speedy in Venice in 2021. We went down the coast, and we're exploring some not medieval, but ancient villages, and we're walking through this stone passage in a castle, and Emmett grabs my wrist and he goes, "Dude, turn the watch around. You're going to scratch it on the stone," because I am kind of like a bull in a china shop. And I thank Emmett very much for doing that, because he stopped me from scratching my Heselite, which I didn't do. Robbie D, 25 pounds. Whoo, long-time viewer. Happy Valentine's Day. Keep doing your thing, Dirk. Wow. Robbie D, thank you so very much on this beautiful Valentine's Day. That is awfully sweet of you. Pounds are great. Pounds are great. Thank you so much. And it's good to see you in the chats. Zamla Consulting, G-Shock. We know. He says, "Come on, man." He wrote "After the Love Is Gone." I didn't say he's a bad songwriter. He writes great songs, but what I said was he kind of watered down a lot of the bands. I love that song. I mean, it's incredible, but it's just he's a schlockmeister. He's Diane Warren, and if you know music well enough, you know Diane Warren is like the worst thing. You know, she wrote the theme to Enterprise, which is horrific. It's the worst thing ever. That, you know, when Star Trek Enterprise started, you guys all know I'm a big fan. It's got that, you know, Star Trek is supposed to be orchestral and, you know, amazing, amazing tunes, and it's like a fucking bad 80s. uh it's been a long road getting from there to here. It's terrible. I'm so used to it now because I watch that show ad nauseum, but it's ugh. If that show had a cooler opening, it would have been more successful. That show, the all Star Trek series for the most part runs 7 years. That's they're going. The first one didn't, and Enterprise didn't. First one went 3, Enterprise went 4. So, and I think one of the culprits, one of the main reasons why that didn't do very well is because of that bad song. Terrible. And Diane Warren wrote it. There are certain people out there like Desmond Child. That guy, I don't think he's corny and cheesy. That guy writes hits for people and they're good. He wrote Dude Looks Like a Lady, Living on a Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name. Amazing. I think, was he in part of Janie's Got a Gun? Probably was. That guy took bands out of the gutter that were kind of dying. He wrote I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss. They were in the fucking dumper, and boom, the biggest hit they ever had. He's one of those guys. He did a record with the Scorpions called Humanity Hour 1, which didn't have any hits, and it wasn't a big successful record, but it's the best Scorpions record since their early days. It's an amazing record, and Emmett will testify to that because he loves it too. And we went to see them. We didn't get to see them on that tour because they didn't play here, but I took him I think it was for his birthday or something or other. We went to Madison Square Garden and we saw Scorpions. They were freaking amazing, and they played zero from it, which sucks. Sam Led Consulting, Earth, Wind, and Fire, David Foster made them gazillions. Yeah, but he got all the writers' royalties, and maybe Peter Cetera. He also convinced Peter Cetera that he would be better off on his own, and Peter Cetera took his ego and walked out the door. So, you know, there you go. I mean, bands, they suck. Mark, 5493, Chicago died when Terry Kath died. Well, certainly their sound, certainly that sound. Yeah, definitely. Carolyn Martin says, you have to give David Foster credit for turning Roger Federer into a singer. Well, being such a Roger Federer fan as I am, I had no idea, nor have I ever heard him sing. And if so, please text me the link to it. I've never heard of Roger Federer as a singer. Isn't it enough that he's the GOAT of all time with tennis, even though the numbers don't match anymore? He still is. Mark, I don't know what Rock and Roll Hall of Fame equals DEI. I don't know what that means, but it sounds really bad. Sam Led Consulting, still love you, Dirk Weekdays, even if you like David Foster. He is a turbo douche for sure, but I agree. All of the above. I think he's incredibly gifted. I mean, you ever hear that guy? He'll be sitting in a room. I watched this Shania Twain thing when she had some kind of problem with her voice, and they were working on keys, and you know, he's just following along with her, and he's like, oh, you know, changing keys at the drop. Guys like that, he's a genius. The guy's a musical genius. I give him all of that. I mean, I would look like a moron, you know, trying to have a musical conversation with a guy like that. That's like trying to talk to Quincy Jones or Bernstein. He's an amazing talent. He just writes really sappy shit for the most part. That's it. Dean says, Dirk, what do you think of Frank Zappa? He can certainly play guitar. Listen, here's another example of a guy I don't get at all, but I totally get. I saw Frank Zappa once at one of his Halloween shows a million years ago at a place called the Palladium, which is now gone. It's part of NYU University, I should say. And it's just a cacophony of jazzy rock. Terry Bozzio, Steve Vai, the people that have come out of his group, they're just virtuosos. It's virtuosic. It's a band just for virtuosos. I don't know I have a couple of his records like Shut Up and Play Your Guitar and Chic Your Booty and Joe's Garage Parts 1 and 2. I have a couple of them here, but I don't know a lot about him. I think Dweezil's a great player, and I really love watching him play. But yeah, but I get it though. I mean, if Frank Zappa in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Somebody tell me in the chats, because if he's not, he should be, because he's innovator one of the biggest innovators ever. He should be, but that's the problem with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's just nonsense. Robert Johnson and Leadbelly. Robert Johnson is certainly in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Leadbelly, I'm not sure, but I mean, nobody would play guitar. It was right. It's like Django Reinhardt. That guy had two fingers. I mean, I've been watching recently a lot of Django Reinhardt, but because I'm a singer who writes songs on guitar, so I'm certainly not a guitar player by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm like watching his technique and how he slides around and stuff. And it's if you enjoyed Django Reinhardt, it's some of the most amazing stuff to listen to. It's incredible. It's sexy. It's jazzy. It evokes a time, a period. It's pretty great. Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. There is a reason that Howlin' Wolf is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Listen, the pioneers, like I said this before, the pioneers all got in there when they got in there because they knew who they were. Bill Haley and the Comets. And actually, didn't Chuck Berry just recently get in there? It was a while, right? It was, I don't know. I can't figure that out because it's a boys' club. And now that Jan Wenner's been thrown out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, maybe it'll get better. But the nominees this year are not so great, and we'll go over those in a second when I get to the end of the chat thing. Mr. Bad Gas, Bruce Cockburn needs a Grammy. A lot of people deserve Grammys, but they don't give Grammy Awards out for musical achievement anymore. They give it out for popularity and for social pressures because they feel like certain sectors of the music industry are not being acknowledged and rewarded appropriately. And you know what? Listen, there's the American Music Awards. There's the Source Awards. There's tons of stuff. Listen, Bad Company's not getting a Source Award. Jethro Tull's not getting a Source Award, but it's a one-way street, unfortunately. Samlet says, I was traveling yesterday, took my beloved to Miami for her birthday. Hey, how nice. On an A321 heading westbound as we speak. Oh, you're on one now. Okay. Are you on a plane right now? Is it an A321 or an A321T transcontinental? Yeah, I when American got those, they it's so weird to fly from New York to Los Angeles on a narrow body plane because when throughout my lifetime it was always a 747 or a DC-10 or one of those L-1011s, one of the big planes. Now these it almost feels like a private jet. Mark says Foster and Warren, musical schmaltz to use the Yiddish. Yeah, the Yiddish has a lot of great words that mean a lot of cool stuff. All of my friends who know a lot of Yiddish always taught me them, like Mark Mandelbaum, who was my the guy who mixed my solo record. I had the best time with that guy. He taught me so much great shit. It was hilarious. Sam Le Consulting. Sometimes schlock rock is what we need to get through the day. Well, like this whole yacht rock moniker, which I think I disagree with wholeheartedly, because that Christopher Cross record is it's like a Steely Dan album. It's Jeff Skunk Baxter and there's Steve Gadd and all the greatest players in the whole wide world, and Larry Carlton, like the sickest players in the universe are on there. Da 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 da. It's just unbelievable shit on that record, and it's considered yacht rock, which has a very demeaning kind of connotation, meaning that it's like schmaltzy music for rich white guys on a yacht. And it's because they're corny, but Christopher Cross is also an amazing guitar player that he doesn't get any credit for. And if anybody watches Rick Beato, they say it's because they mixed his stuff way too low. Magic Mike with the Rolling Stones logo says, Desmond Child's an absolute god. Did you know his first band was called Desmond Child and Rouge? I sure did, and I have the record to prove it. And I also have Discipline, his second album, where it was no Rouge, it was just Desmond Child. Yeah, this is my world. That's the shit that I grew up on. I love it, And Mark says, Klaus Mein, Liebe is rock and roll. Never rock and roll. Klaus Mein. I mean, you got to love Klaus Mein. He's just unbelievable. Oh, DEI. Thank you for the edification. DEI means diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, you know what? That's getting really fucking boring. Andrew Rokovich says 6 months before Sam passed, she discovered Star Trek Enterprise and ordered the box set, which is the only series, of the original Berman Braga that were shot in HD. It's it's shot in widescreen. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet her, and we could have fanboyed and girled over that show because I watch it daily. Angelo Minichello, Canadian $5. Thank you so much. Good to see you in the room tonight. Let's stop there for a second because it is now 20 minutes before the hour, and we're going to get to the wrist shots, but I also want to get to this because this is what I wanted to show you first, and then we can talk about it and tell me what you think. This is the current. I'll blow this up so you can see it. This is the nominations this year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you tell me what you think. So we have Mary J. Blige. Now, I'm no Mary J. Blige authority, but she's an R&B artist and a good one at that. I always used to say she couldn't find the key if it was in her door because she has a tendency to sing very, very, very flat or sharp. Another lesson learned. Oh, you will get burned. Guaranteed to blow your mind. She's always a little out, but that's her style, and I much prefer that over autotune any day of the week. I think she's the queen of hip-hop soul, right? I think she's going to get in. I think she should. Now, Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is one of the biggest selling artists, if not the biggest female next to Barbara or one of those people. This is her first nomination because she's only been out since 1990. She got a ton of hits. The beginning of her career was stellar. The second part of her career is absolute crap. Do I think she'll get in? I think that they'll be forced to put her in there because she's such a big name, and it's not like her star is diminished in any way. She could always have the big comeback. Had she not had what was it called? The Education of Mimi, or the whatever, something Emancipation of Mimi. If she had not had that big comeback record, she might not have gotten in because that really revived her career big time. Cher. Okay, well, Sonny and Cher were pioneers of rock and roll. Why Sonny and Cher are not in the Rock and Roll of Fame 20 years ago, 25 years ago, makes no sense to me. He wrote Bang Bang. He wrote I Got You, Babe. She sang on Cheryl's records. She worked with all the, she was part of the Wall of Sound. They are pioneers, and she had, giant Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, Dark Lady, Take Me Home, Believe. She's had a million hits. She's had a hit in every single decade. She had a terrible new Christmas song that was all auto-tuned out, but she started the auto-tune craze, and it was an effect, and it was cute when it happened. Everybody liked it, but who knew it would turn into that? But yeah, she's getting in, and she deserves to be because it's fucking Cher. Dave Matthews Band. I don't know anything about them other than he does the mashed potatoes on stage. I don't think they've influenced anybody. I think it's a jam band. They're all incredible musicians. There's no doubt about it. Will they get in? I don't think so. Eric B. and Rakim. Now that's the golden age of hip hop. They are considered pioneers to many of the big established artists that now get tons and tons and tons of Grammy Awards, and enough people in the fan vote for them. I think they'll get in. I don't think anybody really remembers them, though, in the mainstream at all. Foreigner. Now, Foreigner, I love Foreigner. I love Lou Gramm, one of the greatest voices ever, just as good as Steve Perry. For me, I like him even better. Their first couple of records were huge. Foreigner 4 was even the biggest record they ever had. Their first album's a masterpiece. The second one was Double Vision, and Head Games, which wasn't so good. They've kind of faded into this kind of AOR, sappy glory, like I Want to Know What Love Is and all that stuff. But like, if you've got Journey in there, you should have Foreigner in there. I don't Foreigner in there. I don't see why they shouldn't be in there, because it's the same. I like them better. I'm a much bigger Foreigner fan than I am a Journey fan. And then you have Peter Frampton. Now, the argument for Peter Frampton is that he didn't have, he had two big records. He had the big live album, Frampton Comes Alive, and then I forget what the name of the studio record was, but that's it. And then he never had any more chart success, but he's an amazing guitar player, one of the most influential guitar players. He was in Humble Pie, and if you don't know who they are, Google it. Do I think he's going to get in? I don't think they're going to allow it. I just think he's going to have to wait. Jane's Addiction. I mean, not my cup of tea. I remember when their first album came out, and, Perry Farrell and what's his face? The guy that was in Red Hot Chili Peppers for a while, Dave Navarro. Not my cup of tea. Have they influenced anybody? Maybe a couple of people. Are they worthy of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I do not think so. Tell me what you think. Kool and the Gang. I mean, Kool and the Gang. If you're going to put Commodores, are the Commodores in there? They have to be, right? Lionel Richie's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He has to be. He's a God. Kool and the Gang. One of the biggest bands of the 70s, 80s. They had hits galore. Did David Foster write any of their hits? Quite possibly. Should they get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I think they probably should. But I think War should be in there. Is Parliament in there? Parliament's in there, right? They finally got in there. Yeah, I have no problem with them. Lenny Kravitz, I don't know, maybe next time. I like Lenny. I think his first album, Let Love Rule, Let Love Rule was great. Are You Gonna Go My Way? A Circus. I thought that was, he's cool as shit. Is he rock and roll? He's the most rock and roll person in this entire list. There's no doubt about it. Oasis, not my favorite band, but I totally get it. They're gonna get in. They're gonna get in on the first ballot. Will those two shitheads show up? Will they reunite for a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance? They share a mother, and she's very vocal about it. And I actually think Liam's the bigger dick. I think Noel's the talented one, and I think while I don't listen to their music for pleasure, I would rather Blur or one of those other bands to get in there. I just think they're cooler. The Smiths, as much as I'm anti-Morrissey now because of his ridiculous politics and his Zionist bullshit, I don't like him anymore. But I think that those records, the Smiths, were fucking amazing. I love those records, and I love his solo career too. He's just a dick. He's just way too polarizing. Find a little bit of centrism, my friends. Sinead O'Connor. This was a nod to her dying, and I love Sinead. We all love Sinead. She had, two big records, The Lion and the Cobra, and then I Am Not What I Have Not. What is it? I Have Not What I Haven't Got. I forget what it's called. And that's it. And then she ripped a picture of the Pope up, and that was the end of that. Ozzy Osbourne's getting in there, hands down. There's no way around it because he sold 100 million records as a solo artist, and Black Sabbath sold 80 million. So he's bigger than his own band. So he's definitely going to get in there. Sade. I love Sade. I think she's great. Do I think that they'll let her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No, I don't. Smooth operator. She was bigger in Europe than she was here. And let's face it, this is very America centric. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though they let Kate Bush in, and A Tribe Called Quest, which gets nominated every single year, and they never get in. So I don't know. Now let's look at the chats and hear what you guys have to say about all that. They should have a separate space in the Hall of Fame for One Hit Wonders. You know who we were listening to last night? My Sharona. We were watching the Knack. I got on a Knack binge last night. We're listening to, because I love that song, Good Girls Don't, But I Do. You could never have that song now. You could never put a song out called Good Girls Don't, But I Do. It's got an amazing middle eight that they repeat, which is rarely done. The Knack, one hit wonders. There's a lot of one hit wonders that I don't know. I don't think there's any one hit wonders in the Hall of Fame, though. Much to their credit, and they get no credit at all. Ray says Quincy Jones, Nile Rodgers. Yeah, no, Chic is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as far as I know. Quincy Jones is certainly in there. Certainly. He's Quincy fucking Jones. I mean, if he's not in the Hall of Fame, they should just burn it to the ground. Zapp is in the Hall. Thank you, Franco. Yeah, he should be. Absolutely should. Chuck got in 93. Isn't that a little late? That's crazy. Crazy. Sam the Consulting says it makes no sense that Boston is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Their 3 albums are works of art. Well, I don't think anybody cared about Third Stage. That was the one that Amanda was on, right? And while it's beautiful, and Brad Delp, one of the most beautiful souls and singers, and that guy's voice is crazy. No auto-tune on that guy. No, he didn't need. Amazing. When you think about that first Boston record, the sound of it, Tom Scholz and his wizardry, and Sib on drums, and Fran, and all those, Barry Goudreau, made that one of the greatest debut records of all time. What are the best debut records of all time? That's one of them. Van Halen 1, Appetite for Destruction, Led Zeppelin 1. This, the debut records, that's their debut record. It's every song on it is a hit. Smokin's on that, More Than a Feeling's on that, Long Play, Long Time. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Frank Zappa was Franco says Zappa had a role in Miami Vice. That guy could do anything. He was incredible. Never drank, never smoked, never did anything. He had a he was started the whole groupie music movement with the GTOs and a Plaster Caster and all those groupies that became famous in their own right. He cultivated that whole culture. This guy was a madman. Absolute madman. His music is weird though, you know. Roar the Tiger, Michael McDonald. Is he not in the Rock and Roll? I mean, somebody made fun of me last night because you know everybody loves to do their Michael McDonald's impersonation because it's not hard to do at all. Michael McDonald is all over that. The Christopher Cross record because that was the Doobie Brothers. I mean, that guy's voice is the sound of soft rock, of yacht rock, if you will, of that period of time. You wanted that guy on your record. He's an amazing, incredible keyboard player too. Nobody cares. Isn't that a shame? It's Dez is here. 5 pans. United Kingdom. Sterling. Evening, Dirk. Just popping in to say hi. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Yeah, maybe I was ranting, so I didn't get to you quick enough. But thank you so much, Des. It's always good to see you in the room. Will I see you on Friday when the big guy and I are doing the big show? Ray says, if Danny O'Donnell don't make Hall of Fame, I'm going to burn all me jumpers I have of him. I don't know who Danny O'Donnell is. See, I don't know who everybody is. Ray, I'm assuming you're going to tell me, and I look forward to it. Eric B says it's the 145 percussion. That's what Rick says. It's very true. Sam Led's on an A321 extended range. Very nice. Mark says, glad to see Jane's Addiction, Oasis, Peter Frampton nominated by the Hall of Fame. Goofy institution, but some good inclusions. Yeah, I think Oasis is going to get in. I think the other two are going to be left empty-handed. Dean is £4.99. Super sticker. Des Ferris says that Foreign is a great choice. I mean, listen, if you're going to go by track records, I don't know if everybody wanted to after what was the first one? Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Every band that was like the barometer by everybody had to sound like that. And you know, Journey. When did Journey happened later on? Journey didn't happen until like 81, 82. Even though they were around, they had Greg Raleigh on vocals, and they didn't have Steve Perry yet. They didn't get him until several records in. So Foreigner kind of set the bar for that kind of AOR with this really great tenor. And yeah, I just think that they're well deserving of it. I really and truly do. You know, what are you going to do? Eric B says Lenny Kravitz. Hey, he's very rock and roll, man. I don't have a problem with Lenny Kravitz. I mean, I don't listen to him for pleasure, you know, at all. But I think he's very fucking rock and roll. Magic Mike 71 says, we're talking about Diane Moore and David Foster and Desmond Child. What do you think of Jim Steinman? I think Jim Steinman, you know, was a madman. He was crazy. That Meatloaf record is Meatloaf is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Should he be? That he's got one album that sold actually he's got two now. Bad Out of Hell sold something like 50 million albums, and then the second one did like 25 million records. 25 years later, he did Bad Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell, and that was written largely by Jim Steinman. Actually, there's a lot of songs that we'd heard before. He'd written for Celine Dion and Kim Carnes and so many people. Bonnie Tyler. Amazing stuff. Sam Lett says Perry's a god, 100%. You got to like that kind of thing, you know. It's not my thing. It's not that kind of music. I don't get it. I don't think it's highly influential. I think it's a very small amount of people. Like Motorhead is not in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Iron Maiden has influenced every fucking metal band in the world, but Metallica got in there right away. And Iron Maiden's way old, and not way older, but older. Couple of years older than Metallica. And I'll be honest with you, way more influential than Metallica will ever be. Because Metallica was influenced by Iron Maiden. Then you got Motorhead. You have Jethro Tull. You have Bad Company. You have all these artists that have just never been put in there. It's just mental when you think about it. Mr. Badgas, $1.99. Our Lenny. Not that one. I think he meant Lemmy, but Lenny, right? Lenny, not our Lenny. Not that one. He's not in there either. Mark says, I'd love to see the Gallaghers get in there for one stage fist fight. I mean, they're older now. Do they really give a shit? Dean says, Lenny Kravitz. Have you seen the abs on Lenny Kravitz? It's unbelievable how amazing that guy looks. He's incredible. It's total stud. And he's cool, and he knows he's not a lead guitar player, just plays V with cool rhythm guitar. He's, looks amazing. He runs a really good life. He's a good person. He does good shit. He lives in a fucking amazing house in Paris. He's cool. JBB with $10. Thank you so much, JBB. Thomas Burnett. Hello, Thomas Burnett. Thinking of a master plan because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. I dig deeper, I'm still coming up with lint. I don't know what is that a lyric from a song that you really like? Ray says, The Clash, Sex Pistols, Stranglers. Yeah. You meant Savoy Brown? I don't know who Golden Brown is. Tower of Power, Hall of Fame. No, they're not in there either, right? Thomas Burnett, start my mission, leaving the residence. This is, how are we going to get some dead presidents? This is some rap, right? I don't know. You're going right over my head with that stuff. Right over my head. I have no idea what any of that means. Let me see what you got on here before we get to watches. Jim Lassick, here he is. Happy Wednesday, Dirk and fans. Cheers to you all. Foreigners a slam dunk. I think so too. Those records are amazing. I mean, it feels like the first time. Blue Morning, Blue Day, Cold as Ice, Double Vision, Long Way from Home. I Want to Know What Love Is. They've got like ridiculous hits. Urgent, Jukebox Hero, Monster Arena Rock smashes, and then, Scorpions aren't in there. They've sold 100 and some odd million records, and they're still touring the world today. I mean, like I'm not going to belabor the Iron Maiden point because I know metal's not everybody's thing, but Iron Maiden is bigger now than they've ever been. Stadiums and arenas only. That's all they do. And, they influenced everybody. So I don't know. It's a bit ridiculous. Let me see if, Andrew Wolkowicz, $2, 87 in the house, upvote everybody. Got 91 in the house now, Mr. Wolkowicz. Well, isn't that great that we're averaging around 100 people in the room every fucking day? Because you guys rule. Upvote! Show enough. Eric, and yes, I don't know enough about Eric B and Rakim. I know a lot about old school hip hop, but not them. The Grandmaster Flash and the Melly Mells and all that stuff, and then Run DMC and LL and all that cool stuff. I'm gonna listen to it later though. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em changed my ears back in '89. '89's a little late though. It's a little late. Did they have a big hit in '89? '89's a little late for the rap. I think so. Anyway. Let us get into the watch world. And let me see which one I'm going to come. Oh, it's great. Oh, where is the one from Jim? Jim said I didn't get to his Zenith last night, so I'm going to get to it now. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we're going to start with that. Said he was going to send me another one. Ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-bum, bum, ba ba da 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 ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. Here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, this is Ashley. Let's start with Ashley. Okay. Windows. Ashley. I don't know what that is, Ashley, but it's very cool looking. What is that? Did you say what? Oh, what is this thing? Let me see what it is. It's beautiful. Oh, that's a Parmigiani, right? Oh, wow. It is. They make cool watches. I don't know anything about them at all, my friend. I don't know anything about them. I actually never heard any scuttlebutt about them until very recently. And now it turns like all you guys, all the big watch nerds, all know everything about them. I think it's very cool. I like it. Can I say that I like it? I think I just did. Parmigiani Perfection. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. I somehow missed this last night. I didn't see it. But this is, ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Mr. Jim Lassick and his Zenith. Look at that. Oh man. With his very attractive wrist. That's a man's wrist, my friend. That is what a man's wrist looks like. Wow, that is absolutely fucking beautiful. I love those, man. And I'm not a Daytona guy. I think that's a Daytona murderer. I just think it's way sexier. Everything about it, I love it. Love the El Primero movement. I know it's very similar, but I just think it's sexier. It's a sexier watch because I'm a speedy guy. I'm a Speedmaster man, and I think that this is, if you're going to go in that direction, hey man, that powered it for how long? How long did that power the the Rolex? For years and years and years, right? Now everything's in-house, 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 in-house. Then we got Brett's Lane. Hey Brett, this is great. He's got his. Is that a Fender Strat? I don't think it is. Let me see if I can blow that up and tell what it is. Oh, it is. It's a Fender Strat. I couldn't tell because it was on the hook. And your beautiful puppy. That looks just like Toto from The Wizard of Oz, man. Looks just like Toto. And Toto too. Look at that. Oh, this, I didn't even see the white dog there. Oh my God. You have two of them. Is that a West Highland Terrier? Is that a Westie? And a Cairn Terrier? How close am I on that? I think it's a Cairn Terrier and a West Highland Terrier. That's what I'm guessing. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I think so. They're beautiful, man. Thank you for that. I love that you guys send shots of the dogs. We got Steve in the viewer corner, which it's now called because we're not doing wrist. We're not calling it viewer wrist shots. We're calling it viewers corner, right? This is Steve. Look at that. His and hers Omegas. Look at that. I love it. Is that a DeVille date and an Omega Speedmaster Professional? Looking great. You got a big wrist, man. Look how small that 42 millimeter watch looks on that giant wrist of yours. Wow. Wow, that's I've never seen a Speedy look so small on a man's wrist. You got a big wrist, dude. Wow. Talk about wrist presence. Talk about wrist presence. Holy macaroni. Holy macaroni, Steve McDonald. You got some giant wrist. Then we got Chris. Oh, look at this. With some Omega Wonders. Look at the white dial, Seamaster with the red. It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful watch. White dials. What is it about the white dial that we're all so excited about lately? They're coming out with a white Speedy. That's my prediction. I told you guys a couple of nights ago or last week. We saw it on Daniel Craig. I think it's coming out. It's going to be, and I'm calling it the Unsnoopy. I called it first. It's the Unsnoopy because it looks like a Snoopy without Snoopy on it. And that's what everybody wants. Look at that beautiful Seamaster. That's a beautiful watch. Looks great on you too. Oh, is this you? Oh, were you there too? Oh, look at that. Let's blow that up. Look at this guy with taste and style, impeccably dressed. He's got his motorcycle jacket on. Looks like a shot with a tuxedo shirt and a great set of paws and some champagne. Look at that. Looking amazing. Wow. That's a great shot, dude. Love it, love it, love it. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Very cool shot. Some of them I've seen because I, look at the watch at them before I get on the stream, but some of these all came in now. Uh-oh, we got the very first Bremont on the show. Look at that. Wow. That's a beautiful watch. Bremont, they had their big moment. And then they're another brand that needs to get some kind of cool celebrity spokesperson to come after them. It looks great, man. It's perfectly sized on your wrist too. Absolutely looks great, man. I really appreciate that you sent that in. That's really, really beautiful. That's Mark. Thank you, Mark. You just picked that up today. Let's get that back in there. Hold on. Wait a minute. You got to get a little extra Dirk love because you got it today. Congratulations. And you get the ding for that. Fantastic. Everybody give him the big thumbs up because that is fantastic. You got it today. Look at that. I love the fact that you went and you got that too. That's very, very, very cool, Mark. Angelo Minichiello. I don't know what this thing is. Holy mackerel. Did you say in the chats what this is? A Radcliffe watch. Very affordable. Ladies and gentlemen of the Dirk Bashers, the Dirk Weekdays. Do you know this brand? Radcliffe. I don't know. It's very cool, though. Very interesting. How does that even work? Science. Science, it's science. Wow, beautiful. Thank you for sending that on. I don't know that, Anthony Minichello. Here's Wallace. Let's get into the Hamilton action with Mr. Wallace. Looking great with his khaki automatic. Looks great on every wrist. It's a perfect size. It's a perfect shape. It's a three-hander. It looks absolutely fantastic. Hamilton, man, you just can't go wrong with them. They're just so beautiful. It looks great on. Look at that beautiful strap, too. That's a beautiful strap. And here he is back with, I'd be G-Shocked if you don't like this G-Shock, the GM2100 series. I actually do. I think it's very Audemars Piguet. This is the one that I think looks very Audemars Piguet-ish. If Audemars made a watch, it would be like their offshore militia version. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you for that. Very, very cool, Wallace. Mr. Culver in the house with this is another. Look at you, G-Shock guys. You're out in force. Maybe we should I'll do a deep dive on G-Shock, and then you guys can certainly edumacate me. This looks like a grenade. This looks like that is carbon fiber. This is definitely like what guys do in the Middle East when they're on some crazy thing and they're going to blow shit up. Really scary. That's a scary looking thing. That looks, I don't know what model that is, but it's nuts. Absolutely nuts, Mr. Culver. Ray. Let's see what you got going on here, Mr. You. Your daily driver. Your daily driver is this Casio. Look at that. Look at that. G-Shock's glory. That's on a metal bracelet, too. That's very cool. What a big piece of steel that is. Wow. And it's lit up. Is that like an Indiglo kind of stuff? And I think Timex has the Indiglo patent. But that's pretty close. Very, very, very cool, monsieur. Looking great. It's very watch heavy tonight. And then what do we got? Yeah. Well, did I miss one from you? I'm just double checking. No, these two of the same pictures. Okay. Want to make sure I don't mess anything up. Oh, hey, see, I said it's very watch heavy tonight. And then what do? We get turtles. Are they tortoises? And I beg to, I'm not exactly sure the difference, but somebody will tell me. Those are beautiful. Those are babies. Look at them. They have like wood chips and all kinds of fun things to eat in their little habitat. Everybody should have animals. They should have some kind of animal to make them feel good about their lives. Make them, somebody to talk to. Oh, they're beautiful. Look at that. Except for snakes. I don't like snakes. They scare the shit out of me. I'm not that bad with them. Paul's really bad with them. I mean, I could, but it's just like, could go on. Maybe if I had a big tank, I'd get some eels. Those are beautiful. What are their names, if I might ask you? I'm sure you named them, right? And I don't know what this is about, Ray, but it's funny. Is this you? Is this what? No, this is not you, is it? Is this you? Oh no, this is that guy that does the ice bath shit, the Wim Hof method. Yeah, that's some crazy shit, but I would be totally down to do that. I want to try the polar bear thing. I actually just met one. I would do that polar bear shit. I'd run Coney Island in the middle of the winter, and I've jumped in ice pools. I've gone from a sauna to the ice pool. I like it. I really like it. I like it. Very cool. And those are the shots of the night. And let's just close it all out at 6:09 past the hour with some of the last comments. Dean says that he loves the Zenith. Chris says, cheers, Dirk. Hey, Chris, cheers. Opening night, baby. Opening night, baby, for who? What's opening night? Tell me who. Sam Led Consulting. Zenith doesn't get the love it deserves. It certainly does not. Thumbs up from Michael R. Thank you. Chris, Upper East Side. Congratulations. Oh, on the watch. Opening night on the watch. Yeah, now I get it. Thumbs up from him, too. Brother Tiger says, 7750, question mark. Sam Led Consulting says, ooh, Zenith porn. I want to say Zenith because I grew up with the Zenith TV, but it's Zenith or Zenith, as they say. Mark Wild says, thank you very much, everybody. You're so welcome. With the El Primero, there's nothing better. Thumbs up from the Scotty H. Blinding me with science. It blinded me with science. Cassioke. Is that what they call it? Gorgeous DeVille indeed. Man, DeVilles are sexy. Jim Lassick says it was the Daytona movement from 88 to 2000. Yeah, that's a long time. Eric B says Leonardo and Raphael. Oh, of course, the Musketeers. Ray says, sorry, jerk. That was, oh, is that you? Was that you in the top? Oh, man. You crazy monster man, you. You're a big, muscly dude. Holy cow. That's a big barrel full of dude. Wow. Dean says, Thursday is Dirk's bake-off bashers. It can be. You want to do some baking tomorrow? Well, definitely do some baking. I'm down with that. What do we make? Suggestions at basherdirk@thegmail.com. Let's see. Let me go through those real quick to see nobody else. Okay, that was the last one I got. Yeah, so send me at basherdirk@gmail.com if something you want me to bake, because Dana's coming over tomorrow. We're going to have some wine. She's going to be sitting right next to me. We're going to be sharing the mic. We'll have 2 sets of headphones. And we're going to have a show together, and I will bake some stuff. I'm not really eating carbs right now, so I'm not going to eat any of it. So I'm not making a big deal out of it. I'm just avoiding them. If they get into me in some very innocuous way, I'm not going to have a heart attack. And I'm not doing like the whole keto thing, which I usually do. If it starts to really work out, then I'm going to go full on keto. But like I said, I want to dump at least 20 pounds. I'm going to get that off my back. So I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming in tonight and contributing to the show. Your beautiful words, your beautiful thoughts, your comments, your opinions, your wrist shots, your tortoise shots, your dog shots, beautiful cat shots. Again, we are so sorry, Antoine, about Tara and the beautiful, beautiful life you gave her. Thank you so much for all of that. Nathaniel Hannon's got $1.99. Got to give him the ding because I don't want to miss out on any of that. And I hate when I end the show and then the super chats come in and I can't say, try my banana bread next. I would, but I hate banana bread. I hate it. I know people love it. I don't get it. Don't get banana bread. Don't get it. It's like melon. Nothing gives me the scavazzo more than melon, cantaloupe, honeydew, anything in the melon family. The smell of it makes me want to heave. I can't stand it. I like bananas in their natural form, but when bananas are baked into things, me no likey. I appreciate the $2, but I'll make it. Okay, how about this? Let's do that. Send me the banana bread. I'll bake it, and I'll send it out. We'll do another one of our little giveaways, because last time Carolyn got it. She got your lemon bars, and she really liked them. So, yeah. So, thank you very much for that. And yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow night at the same bat time, same bat channel. We're gonna have a special guest. We're gonna have Dana O'Malley in the house, in the studio, live with wine, pre-dinner, sharing a mic, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great, so great, and I'm so excited about that. So until next time, remember to say please and thank you. Hold the door open, and don't be a dick. It's not worth it. Unless, of course, they're a total.